Good afternoon. It is now 1:30, so we will be able to start the webinar on DocBox. My name is Mathilde Villeneuve. I work for Centris as a tools and training specialist, and I will be the one giving you out the DocBox webinar today. So, all right, so today we're going to see DocBox. We technically have an hour and a half, but it usually doesn't take that long, so we're really going to go in the tool and really see how it works, and you guys will be able to ask me your questions at the end, or maybe sometimes throughout the presentation if we have time. So for those of you who don't know what DocBox is, it's like a cloud solution that allows you to store documents in an unlimited way, and it is already in your Instanet Forms tool. So it's already provided by Instanet Forms and Transaction Desk. So it's not an add-on. You have it already. You can use it as much as you want. And what's important to know is that first of all, it's free. And it is unlimited. So it's really a tool where you can go and put all of your documents. You can upload all of your documents. You can classify them however you want. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's unlimited, unlike some solutions like some other cloud-based solutions, which will have a limit to what you can store before you start paying. With DocBox, it's free and it is unlimited. All right, so I'm going to go right now into DocBox, and we're going to see how it works and what you can do with the tool. So I'm going to start by logging into my Centris zone, and maybe some of you go through the association website to do that. I always go through centris.ca because it's much quicker. So if I click on connection, and then I'm going to go into my broker login, and there you go. So I'm going to just log in. And I think it's going to be in French, so just give me a second so I can switch it in English. There you go. So when you want to access DocBox, you're going to have to go through Instanet Forms because that's where you're going to find the tool. You're not going to see it on its own, like in your tools page, like I'm going to show you. You really have to go through Instanet Forms. So the first way to access the tool is either in your favorites, if it's already in your favorites, like you see here on the left of my screen, it's in my favorites, so I have Instanet Forms right here. If I click on the three little dots here, I'm always going to have the same two choices, so either access the tool or the toolkit that I'm going to show you in a few moments. For those of you who haven't changed their favorites or edited them already, I know that maybe some of you guys are still are watching some of my trainings and I show it all the time, but if ever someone didn't know how to, well, it's important for me to show it all the time. So if you want to edit your favorite, you just need to click on edit right here, so you can remove them with the little minus sign here. You can move them around also if you want to change up the order, so you just need to drag and drop them. If you want to add some favorites, you just click on add, and then this window will open with all the tools that you have, all your Centris tools, and then you just select the ones you want to have in your favorites, all right? And you can unselect them if you want to remove them from your favorites. Also, you have your favorite tools right here that you can have, but you can now add external links. So for those of you who didn't know, it's now possible to not only have your favorite tools in your favorite section, but you can add external links. So if I click on add an external link, what you're going to have to do is put in a title and then copy and paste the website. So it can be basically any website that you want, any website that you usually go on. So you're going to have that at the same place that you have your favorite tools. So that's pretty cool. So all right, I'm going to cancel this. I'm not going to add any. I'm going to click save. So that was just a quick parentheses just to talk to you guys about the favorites. So I'm going to close this too. So yeah, you can go into Instanet Forms directly in your favorites, or you need to click on tools that's in your left menu, and you're going to have to go all the way down to Instanet Forms. So you can see it here in your management and forms category. So once again, you have access this tool or the toolkit, and I'm just going to show you the toolkit quickly. And every tool, by the way, has a toolkit like this. Okay, so you're going to find the same information for every tool. So first of all, you have the webinars at the top. So the next webinar is either on Instanet Forms or DocBox if you want to follow it again. because for now this session is not recorded. It might be eventually, but you won't be able to rewatch what I'm giving out today. So if you want to follow it again, you're going to have to register to another webinar. Also, you have your tutorials that are right here. So you have all of the Instanet forms, and at the complete bottom, you have the DocBox tutorial. So if ever you have some questions on the tool or on some functions of the tool and you want to watch it again, or you want to learn more, just refresh your memory, you can always go here and watch the tutorials. And if ever you have questions and you don't want to watch the tutorials, of course, you can call the help desk with the button right here with the interrogation mark. So you can either chat or call or send an email, and they're going to gladly help you. They're super nice and they're super quick. So if ever you have a question, you can always contact your help desk. All right, so now we're going to go in the Instanet Forms tool to access, DocBox. So I'm going to click on access the tool. Just to make sure I don't have any question. All right, so, okay. All right, so there's someone who's telling me they can't see my screen, but you should be able to see my screen. Maybe you don't have the window in front of you. Just make sure to have your GoToWebinar window open. Okay, so we are in the Instanet Forms tool. Well, in the transaction desk tool, I'm going to say both of them. It's the same thing. So we arrive in the broker dashboard. And to access DocBox, I'm going to open my left menu here. And before I start going into DocBox, I just want to remind you guys that because it is in transaction desk, it's always available to you. So you can always go and try it out yourself after this training, or you can even do it at the same time as me if you want to explore it at the same time as when I'm telling it. So, and it won't affect anything, all right? It's really a tool where you can go and upload all your documents and manage them directly in your transaction desk tool, okay? And it's not going anywhere, of course. So if I want to open DocBox, I'm going to click here. So it's a little box that goes with the name. So I'm going to click on DocBox. All right, so I'm going to try to have my cursor move around more if you guys can, so you guys can see it. So once again, to open DocBox, you just need to open the button right here, so the burger button, and then you open the left menu and you click on DocBox, all right? So here, what we have is DocBox. You have 4 different types of folders. So we're gonna go through all of them together. Then we're gonna go through what you can do with the documents, how to add documents, and that will be basically it, all right? So we're gonna go through all that together. So for those of you who already use Instanet Forms, you're gonna maybe already know the layout. So the add button right here at the right corner, it's gonna be everywhere, the little basket too. Okay, so if you already know those buttons, you're gonna be able to navigate through DocBox pretty easily. All right, because it's the same layout, the same button, the same everything. So you won't lose yourself in it. So the first folder that we have is your inbox folder. So I'm going to click on inbox folder. I'm going to open it. And here is where you're going to upload all of your documents. Okay, so you see here that I have a lot of documents that I haven't managed yet. I didn't put them in other folders. So this is where you're going to add your documents. So once again, you see that for every document, you're going to have this little circle here to select or deselect, and you're always going to have the 3 little dots menu, okay? And we're going to go through all of what you can do with every document that you have. So you have a lot of options. You're going to see that options are going to, they're going to be the same often when you either click on the menu or the basket. So you see that they're going to be the same options, but they're always going to be there. Okay, so I have my my inbox folder, and let's say I want to add a document. So it's pretty easy. You can click here on add. So you click the plus add button at the right corner, and you have 3 options. So either add a new document, create a new Instanet fax, or create a fax back cover sheet. Now, I won't be able to show you how to create Instanet fax or a fax back cover sheet because I'm not using a fax ever. I don't have one and I wouldn't be able to show it to you, but if ever it's something that you want to know about and you want to use your fax with Instanet forms, I would advise you to just call the help desk. But what's important here is how to add a new document. So we're going to click on add a new document, and then this window opens. And so you have 3 different ways to upload documents, to add new documents in your folder. So the first one that you have is here. So it's upload from your device or computer. So you either drag and drop in this blue window here, this blue rectangle actually, or you just need to click to upload. So if I click on the blue thing right here, it's going to open a dialog box like this, okay, from my computer. So it really needs to be on your computer if you want to upload it from your computer, obviously. So you could upload any type of documents that you wanted to. So if ever I wanted to, I don't know, upload a PDF, so something on Matrix, I just need to select it, and here you go. So it uploaded itself right here. Now it's a bit confusing because I already had it, but it's going to be automatic. You're going to see it here. If I click again on add a new document, you see also that you can upload up to 20 files at once. All right. So I said it was unlimited. Now we say it's 20 files at once, but it could be 100 files. It just need to be 20 files at once. All right. So you can add as much as you want. It's just that you're only going to be able to select 20 files at a time. So either from your computer with this option and the blue box here, either you import it from a third party. So if ever you're already using another cloud-based solution like Google Drive or DocBox or OneDrive, well, you could go and get your documents from there. So you would just select it, and then it would open your drive, your Google Drive, let's say, and then you would go and get your documents from there to upload them to DocBox. Finally, you have the email upload. So email upload is pretty fun if you want to have some emails that you received in the forms of documents in your DocBox. So let's say you don't want to lose an email from a client that's important. What you're going to do is that you're going to open your email inbox, and then you're going to select the email, you're going to open it, and then you're going to transfer it to this address here that it's going to give you. So that's a unique address that DocBox or Transaction Desk will give you. So you just need to forward this email, and then it will upload itself in your inbox folder. All right. So it's pretty easy. You just need to copy and paste this email address that DocBox is giving you, and then you forward the email that you want to this email address. So if I close it, I'm going to close it. And finally, you have here the download contact card. This is not a way to upload a document. It shouldn't be there, so don't bother touching it. So you either add documents from your computer, from a third party, so another cloud-based solution, or via email. So I'm going to close this just to show you what it does. Like, see here, I have some email forwards that I sent myself to this inbox. Folder. So I copy and pasted the email address given to me by Transaction Desk, and I forwarded the emails. So if I open it to show you, see here, I have the email. So the email becomes a document. Okay, so it's not the attached files or anything. It's just the email that becomes a document if you want to have it in your DocBox. So if ever you want to keep important information, that's how you do it. Okay, so this is for the inbox folder. So this is where you upload your documents. So you can add new documents only. I'm going to go back now, and don't worry, we're going to see everything that you can do with a document. Of course, I just want to go through the folders before. So you have your inbox folder, and then you have my folders. So my folders are the folders that you're going to create. So you probably already do that on your computer when you manage your files and you classify them. You can file them actually. So you can create a folder and then a subfolder and then a subfolder. You can do the same thing here, and these are your folders. They're not shared with anyone. All right. Well, I mean, you can. I'm going to show you how, but these are your folders. So you see I've created some even for taxes in 2019. I've created myself some folders if I wanted to. So to add a folder again, you need to click on add right here and you add a new folder. Okay, so I could add one today and call it training September 10 folder. All right, so we could do that. So I'm going to click save, and then right here it appears right here. So you're going to notice that for every element in DocBox, kind of the same way that in Instanet Forms, you're always going to have the 3 dots menu. Okay, so for the folder right here, if I click on the menu, you have some options. So you can share it with a team. So if there's a team that you've already created in Instanet Forms, you can share it with the team. So if I click on Teams Share, you see here I have all of the teams that I've created. So I could decide to select one, put it in the right box, and then it would be shared with that team. I could even select the notify assigned users of this team share. So if I want them to know that I've shared a folder with them, I could. And I could even write them a little message to let them know that I've shared a folder with them. So I'm going to click save. All right. So you can either share it with a team or you can keep it to yourself, of course. If we have some time at the end of the presentation and you guys want to know how to create a team, just let me know and I will gladly show you. It takes just a few minutes. So this is your folder. So if I open my folder that we just created here, if I click on add again, now we can add a document in the folder, same way as we did before. So it's always the same options to add some documents, or you can even add another folder. So I could add a subfolder and call it subfolder September 10th. Okay, so it can go on and on and on, and it's unlimited. So you can have multiple levels of folders in your folders. So that's for the My Folders folder. That's a weird way of saying it, but that's how it works. Okay, so these are your folders. And then you have your shared documents. So shared documents, right now I don't have any if I click on it, because no one shared a document or a folder with me. But if I was on a team, I was part of a team, and someone had shared a document with me or with my team, then it would appear here. So keep in mind that the shared documents are documents or folders that are shared with you and not documents that you shared. So if ever you try and share a document with someone, you're not going to see it here. Okay, they're going to see it on their end, sorry, but the shared documents are the documents in the folders that are shared with you. So that's where you're going to be able to see them. Finally, you have your transaction folder. So if you create transaction files in your transaction desk, well, they're all going to be here. Okay, so it's going to be automatically uploaded to DocBox. So for every transaction file that you have and all the documents and forms that are there, well, you can just open them. See here, if I take my first transaction folder, well, all of them are here. Okay, all of the documents and the forms that were in my transaction file are there. So you cannot change anything really about them in your transaction file. So if I click on my menu here, see, you can just see the properties. Okay, you cannot rename them. You would have to go back into your transaction desk to do so, but it's pretty convenient. So if you're looking for documents from a transaction, you can always go into your DocBox, select transaction folder, and then all of your transaction folders, your transaction files will be there, and they will all have your documents and everything you put in them. Now, I've opened some of them. You see now that we have a new icon. It's called Submit. Submit is whenever, if ever, your agency executive officer wants to review documents. If you guys are set up that way, it depends on how you guys work, then you would click here and submit the document and you could send it for review. So your agency executive officer could review your document, but that's not everyone who does that. It's just, before you guys ask me, that's what the button is here for. All right. So if I come back, I just forgot to show you, if I go back and share documents, no, not share documents, to my folder, you can, here in the menu, I told you you could share it with a team. You could rename it and see the properties. So you can just rename it if you wanted to, and then you see the properties. So when it was created and when it was last modified. And finally, in the menu, you can delete it if ever you wanted to, okay? It's not set in stone, you can move them around. We're gonna see how to move some documents and some files and some folders even if you wanted to, but you can also delete them and you can stop sharing at any time, okay? If ever you had decided to share this particular folder and you wanna stop sharing it, you can just click again on Teams Share, and then you click on the team and you remove it and you click save, and it's not shared anymore. All right, so these are your 4 types of folders that you have. And before I keep going, I'm going to show you everything you can do with the documents. Do you guys have any questions for me? Is everything clear? Am I going too fast for you? Just want to make sure that you've understood everything about the folders. It's pretty easy. Basically, you only have 4 types of folders, but I just want to make sure that everything is understood. So are the transaction folder items also in the inbox? That's a good question. They are not. So the items that are related to transaction folders will only be in your transaction folders. All right. So it won't be in your inbox. It's really classified in your transaction folders. Is there a bridge between Instanet Forms and DocBox? That is to transfer directly from Instanet Forms to DocBox, or must one always upload it from one's hard drive? Okay, so you want to know if you can upload your documents from Instanet to DocBox. Of course, we're not going to see that today because we're focusing on DocBox now, but you can always, when you're in Instanet, you can always send your documents directly into DocBox. Okay, so the transactions that are in my folder, can we change it? I'm not sure what you mean about that. I mean, your transaction files will only be in your transaction folders. Okay, if you want to move around some documents and put them in my folder, you can. I'm going to show you how to move some documents, if that's your question. So if you're sharing some documents, I have a question about the team sharing. If you're in a team, yes, the team will be with people who are using Instanet Forms. You cannot create a team in Instanet Forms with people who are not using the tool, okay? So, all right. So I hope this answered your questions. If you have more, I'm gonna answer them at the end. So, okay. So we saw all of the folders. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna see what we can do with the documents. Okay, so if I open my inbox folder and I'm gonna take the first document here, which is a promise to purchase. So there are many things that you can do with it. First thing that you can do, first thing that we're gonna see is I'm gonna just select those 2 documents, okay, for now. And you see what happens? I've selected the documents and now my basket has a little 2 on it because I have 2 documents that I've selected. So there are some options that you can play with in the basket icon. So if I click on it, see you have a lot of options at the top. So the first one that you have is move. So if you want to move your document, I'm going to click on it. If you don't want to have it in your inbox folder and you want to go and move it in your folders, in my folders, you could do so. So you've selected them. You're going to click on, let's say, my folders, and I want to move it to the folder that we've created today together. So I'm going to click training September 10 folder, and I'm going to click move to here. So if I click on move to here, you see that if I close this, both of the the files I've just selected, they are not here anymore. They were moved to the folder that I've just chosen. Okay, so if I take, let's say, another document, I'm gonna click on the basket. So see, it's still here. So you just need to be careful that it's still in your basket. So if you're done with the documents that you had, so the promise to purchase and the matrix training, you can remove them from your basket. Okay, so I selected another document because the two first documents, we moved them. Then you can merge some documents. I'm going to show you after how to do that. If you want to merge 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 documents, if you want to, it's going to create a new document from the documents that you've decided to merge. So if ever you're going to see that we're going to select a few documents and we're going to merge them together, it's going to create a new document, but you're not going to lose the individual documents, of course. They're still going to be there, okay? It's just that we're going to create a new document that is a lot of documents merged together. So this is the merge option. Then you can copy it. So if you want to have a copy of your document, you can do so. If you want to copy to the cloud, if you want to send it back, let's say to your Google Drive or your DocBox, you can do that too. Okay, I'm going to close this. You can create a zip file. So if ever you have, like, I don't know, 20 or 25 documents that you want to send to someone in your email, yeah, you can select all of the documents and then download a zip file. So you're going to have a zip file that's going to be downloaded, and you can either put it on your computer or you can send it via email or WeTransfer or whatever you're using. And then you have the sign in Authentisign option. So for those of you who are using Authentisign, you can directly from DocBox start a signing from DocBox, from the document that you've used, okay, that you've chosen. So it's going to open Authentisign. So this is pretty cool for those of you who are using Authentisign, because you see that everything is at the same place. So everything is centralized. So it saves some time. And you can print it if you wanted to. You can send it via fax if you still have a fax, and you can send it via email. So if I click on send it via email, you see that it's pretty easy. It looks a lot like when you're sending forms from Instinet Forms. Maybe some of you recognize this window. So you only need to put in the recipient name, the email. If your contact is already created, you can add it from your contacts. You have to go and add your contacts beforehand, though. If you want to use your contacts, you can add people in CC, BCC, and then you have your subject and your message. You can send the document as a link, so it's going to open the document in the browser, or you can send it as an attachment, so an attachment like you would do in a regular email. So these are the options that you have. And finally, you can delete it if there's anything. If you don't want to have it anymore, you just need to select it and you delete it. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go ahead and select another file so we can see how to merge 2 documents together. So let's say I took this one here. Sorry, it's in French, but it doesn't really matter. It's just for you guys to see how to merge documents. So I'm going to take this one here, 2, and I'm going to take, let's say, this one. Okay, so see, now I've selected 3 documents. I'm going to click on my basket again, and I'm going to click on merge. So when I want to merge some documents, sorry, I need to give it a name. So I could call it new merged document training September 10. Oops, September 10. And then you see the documents that you've selected. If ever you wanted to change the order of how they're going to appear in your final document, you just need to drag and drop them whenever the blue line appears like this, so you can move the order around. And before you merge them, you need to select where you're gonna put your merged file, okay, your merged document. So let's say I'm gonna go and put it into my folders. We've created the training September 10 folder, and I'm gonna put it even in my subfolder, okay? So it's at the right place. I've decided of the folder. I have my documents, and I can just click on merge docs. All right, so you see I have a pop-up here at the right of the screen that says merge complete. So I'm just going to remove them here. All right, so I don't have anything else left in my basket. And you see that my documents, so we had this one here, the éléments à retenir, the order here, and we had the COVID thing. We had the 3 PDFs that we merged together. They're still here. Like I said, they're not going to disappear because you guys merged them. Okay, it's just going to create a new merged document. So if I go back to my home, I'm going to go into my folders, and then the September 10th folder that we created and the subfolder. See those documents that we moved in the first example, they're here. So we moved them here. When you move your documents, they're going to disappear from the first folder, of course, and they're going to be in the folder that you've decided. And then I'm going to click on the subfolder here and see here, I have my new merged document. So if I click on it, it's going to preview, it's going to open the preview, and it's just going to load. So you see here, so that was, yeah, I went there recently. So these are my documents, okay, that I merged. So I have my first PDF, I have my second one, and I have the third one, so the email, okay? So it became one document, one merged document. So this is how you merge your documents, all right? So I'm gonna go back into my inbox folder, and we're going to see the other options that you have, but I see that I have some questions. I just want to see if there's anything that we are going to cover a bit later. I think so. So I'm going to take the time to answer you right after this, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to forget about you. So we've seen the options that you have when you select your documents and you click on the basket. Now, if you click on the 3 dots menu right here, you're going to have a lot of options that we're going to go through together. So the first one is to preview the document. So it comes back to the same thing as clicking on it, like I just did. So you could preview it. Then you can print it if you want. So you're going to see that the options are similar either from here or the basket menu, but you can go from one way or another. So preview it, you can print it, you can download it. So if you don't have it on your computer anymore, or you received it via email and you want to download it, that's where you would do it. So it would download automatically on your computer. You could delete it if you don't want it anymore. You could rename it into the properties. Again, you can just name it. Then you're going to have the properties right here. So when was created by who, etc. If I click back on my menu, you can also send it. So if I click on send, you can either send it via email or send it by fax. So if I click on email, it's going to be the same thing as we saw before. Okay, so it's just another way to go and send your document via email, or you can send it by fax, but that I can't show you, unfortunately. So if I come back here, we can send it, we can copy or move it like we saw in the first menu, in the basket menu. So you can either copy the document or move it in another folder. You can slice it or markup. This is what I'm going to show you in a few seconds, because there are some options in there that I need to show you. I'm just going to go through with this list. So then again, you can sign into Authentisign. So you can open your document into Authentisign if you want to start an electronic signature. You can share it with your team. So again, if I click on it, you see it's always the same window. Okay, so we were able to share a folder that we saw before, but you can also share a document, only a document. So you can choose your team and then again send it in the right box and save it. So this document is going to be shared. So if someone was on my team, they would open their shared document folder. They would now see this document that I just shared with them. All right. So then you can upload a revision, or you can have some revisions. Once again, this is linked to the little icon that we saw before, the submit icon with the little bell there with the hand. Well, that again really depends on if you're using the revisions or not. So if you want to see the revisions or you want to revise it, they would be here. Okay, but that really depends on if you use it or not. Also, you can add some notes to every document. So if you want to add some personal notes about the documents, you could do so. So you just need to click on notes and then you click add, and then there are some titles right here, and you can put a note if you wanted to. If I click back, then you have the history. Okay, if ever you want to know everything that happened with that document, let's say you're working in a team and it's the first time that you see the folder or the documents in there, and you want to see what happened to that document. Was it sent? Was it moved? Was it copied? What happened to it? When was it created? When was it last modified? You have a lot more information than just the properties that we just saw. So you could click on history and then you would see everything that happened with that document. Then you can copy to the cloud. Again, if you want to send it to another cloud solution like Dropbox, yeah, or Google Drive or Box, you could do that here. And you could certify it if you wanted to. So you see here the little lock. That means that my document is certified and digitally signed. Okay. So if you want to have your certificate, you can certify it here. But it's not commonly used. So before you do that, just make sure that there's a reason for why you're doing it. And if you're not sure, just ask your agency executive officer. Okay, so these are all of your options that you have for every document. So now we're going to open the slice/markup option so we can see what you can do with that. So the first thing that you can do is either slice it. This is a harsh word, I know, but it doesn't really mean slice, but let's say we're going to open it just to see. So here you have your document slicer. So what you can do here is that you can move the pages around if ever you want to, okay? And you can rotate them. So that can be helpful if, let's say, your client sent you a document and they scanned it beforehand and the pages are not in the right order, or some of them are in landscape mode, some of them are in portrait mode. This is where you could go and make sure that everything is in the right order or in the right mode, okay? So if ever this one I wanted to rotate it, I would just select it and then click on rotate right, let's say, and see here it would move, and then it would stay like that because it would save it. Okay, so this is what your document slicer does. So if ever you want to move some pages around or you want to rotate them because they were not properly scanned or sent, well, this is where you would do it. If I close this, I'm not going to keep the changes. I'm going to click yes. Again, I'm going to click on the menu and I'm going to click on slice and markup because we just saw slice and now we're going to see the markup. So if I click on markup, this is where you can add some things to your document. Sorry. So if you want to add, I'm just wondering if that's a good example. I'm just going to close it and take another one, actually. So if I go and take another document, just give me a second. I don't have any. I'm going to go into my folders. It's the same thing, actually. I'm just going to open the promise to purchase just to show you. Okay, so I'm going to open this one. I'm going to slice and markup it. I'm going to click on markup just so that you guys can see a form, actually, so it makes more sense to you rather than any PDF. But you can see, though, that it's going to work with any document that you have in your DocBox. So if you have a document with a lot of pages, you're not going to see all of them at once. You're going to have to select the page that you want to mark up. So if I take, let's say, the third one right here, it's going to bring me to my third page. And here you have some options that you can choose if you want to add some things to your documents. For those of you who already know Authentisign, you already know that markup option. It's in your step 4 when you do your electronic signature. So it looks a lot like this in your DocBox markup. So first thing you can do is you can add some text. So if you click on text, the big T here, you can open a text box right here, and then you could add some text right here, okay? Also, whenever you add an element on your document, if you select it and you right click, you're gonna have some options. So if you want the background to be white and you want the font in, I don't know, Times New Roman, and it's not big enough, you want it bigger, and you want it in bold, and you want it in red, well, then you can edit it like this, okay? And you see now that it's white, the background is white. So this is for the text, if you want to add some text. Then you can free draw. if ever you're super artistic and you wanna draw some things, or maybe like an arrow if you wanna point something out. Now I'm sorry, I only have a cursor, so it's not very pretty, but that's what you could do with that. Once again, if you right click on it, you have some options. You can draw some ellipse, you can draw some circles if you wanted to. If you wanna put a circle on something, you could. You can also change the color and the opacity when you right click on it. Same with a rectangle. If you want to, let's say, highlight the big section like this, you could do so. Okay, so once again, you can change the color. If you don't like the blue, we could put it gray. Okay, so it's less in your face than the blue. So you can do that with a rectangle. Then you can highlight. It's basically the same thing as the rectangle, just a bit smaller. So if you want to highlight a sentence, let's say, it's going to open like this, and you can highlight it. You can cross out a section if you want to. So with the line here, you are going to open a line like this. Okay, so it's going to give you a red line that you can choose to change the color if you wanted to. And finally, you have the redact option. So if ever you have your document and you want to send it to your client, but there are some things that you don't want them to see in the document, you can use the markup function to redact some things in your document. So if I click on it, and let's say I want to redact the 7.6 thing here, I'm just going to open the redact thing like so. And then it's going to block out everything. Okay, so these are the options that you have for your documents markup. When you're done with your markup, you just need to click save. And then you can either save, which is gonna save the document as is, so you're gonna lose the first version. But if you don't want to lose the first version and you still wanna have the original, you can just click save as. The same thing as when you save a document on your computer, you can either erase the copy that you had, or you can save as and create a new version. Okay, so it really depends. If you click save as, you need to give it a new name, or you can just save. So I'm going to click save right here, and there you go. So my markup is done. Okay, I'm going to close this. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, of course. So these are for your options for the 3 dots menu. Okay, so we've seen everything that you can do with the document. You can also go ahead and try it out yourself. You're going to see that you can do a lot of things. Finally, if I click on the document, so we saw the options that you have when you click on the basket when the document is selected. We just saw everything that was in the 3-dot menu. And now if you click on the document, it's going to preview it automatically. And you're going to have some options again at the top here. Okay, so you can copy it to the cloud. Again, now you kind of already know what the options are, right? So you can copy to the cloud, you can print it, you can download it, you can send it in Authentisign, you can markup it. So this is the icon for your markup tool. You have your document slicer tool that we just saw. So if you want to move the pages around, you can rename it here and have your properties, and you can rotate the document if you want, or zoom it if it's not big enough. Okay, so if I zoom it, it's gonna be bigger like this. All right, so that's about it. See, that's for DocBox. It's really not complicated. Okay, so basically you have your 4 folders. Also, DocBox, like I said, is linked to Authentisign and your Instanet forms. So if I show you quickly, if I go into my transaction desk, I just want to show you how it's linked. I'm going to go into my transaction desk, and I'm just going to open a transaction file. Okay, so I'm going to open this transaction file on Avenue d'Auteuil right here. So you see that I have all my documents. So like we saw in your transaction folders, everything would be there. Okay, so all of the documents that you have in your transaction file, you will find them also in your DocBox under the transaction folder. So if you look at the right of my screen and you click on documents, I'm going to click on documents. I just want to show you that if I want to add a document from DocBox, I can also. Okay, so I'm going to click on the add button. As you can see, the add button comes back a lot, so you're never going to miss it. So if I click add and I click on add new document, you see here, I now have the copy from DocBox option. So I can go and directly get a document from DocBox. So this is how it's linked in between them. All right, so same thing for Authentisign, which I'm not going to show because not everyone uses Authentisign, but you could go from Authentisign, and when you upload your documents, you could select them from DocBox like you would do normally. So there you go. Like I said, I know we had an hour and 30 minutes, but we really went around everything. And now I'm going to take all of your questions. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me. Okay, I don't think I forgot anything. So take the time to ask me your questions. I'm going to really answer them all one at a time. Okay. So also, for those of you who are, if you're okay with the training and you've learned everything you needed to learn and you don't need more information and you want to leave, that's fine too, of course. I'm going to wish you a very good day, and I'm going to thank you for being here today with me. I hope you guys learned some new things, and I hope that you will use DocBox, of course.